Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is an honor to address you today, particularly in the presence of His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj, so many illustrious sadhus, scholars, and dignitaries. We are here, of course, to celebrate the arrival of an introduction to Swaminarayan Hindu Theology, published by Cambridge University Press and written by Param Tattva Swami, who has been a good friend of mine and a respected colleague for many years. His book is a singular achievement on many levels. In the next few minutes, I want to tell you what makes this book extraordinary, from where I stand as a professor of Hinduism in a public university, a practicing Vaishnava Hindu, a lifelong member of the Hare Krishna movement, and a child of Indian immigrants born and bred in the United States. From all these vantage points, Param Tattva Swami's book is extraordinary. Let me tell you why. First, the basics. This is the first scholarly work in English to provide a comprehensive introduction to the ideas that make the Swaminarayan Sampradaya unique among the Hindu traditions. The book is systematic in its approach, proceeding step by step through central ideas about God, human beings, and the relationship between them. Param Tattva Swami's writing is clear and straightforward, and every term is well defined, making the book accessible both to laypersons and scholars. Given the Swaminarayan tradition's immense global presence, this English language introduction provides invaluable insight for both insiders and outsiders into the heart of a major Hindu tradition. But this is the obvious part. There's something more profound that Param Tattva Swami has accomplished in his book, and that is indicated in his title, An Introduction to Swaminarayan Hindu Theology. That last word, theology, represents what is truly unique about this work. You see, a religious tradition's ability to flourish, even to survive, depends on its ability to articulate, renew, and reapply its doctrines and scriptures for each succeeding generation. When a Sampradaya's scriptures become merely revered museum pieces, when its doctrines become no more than endlessly repeated markers of allegiance, then we can be certain that the tradition is in need of reform and rejuvenation, that its vitality is waning. But when devotees of each generation are able to reinterpret the Sampradaya's ideas and practices for their own context, applying ancient texts to the challenges that face this world and these times, then the Sampradaya is likely to not only survive, but to grow and flourish. How do we find the resources in Swaminarayan scriptures to respond to our ever-deepening environmental crisis? How does one maintain fidelity to the Vaishnava virtues of humility, compassion, and forbearance while competing in a cutthroat business environment or investing in mutual funds whose portfolios include the meat and alcohol industries? How do we prevent the doctrine of karma from allowing us to blame the victim or allowing us to justify our own social privilege? These are all questions of theology, and these are the sorts of problems that make the work of theology indispensable. Sadly, Hindu theology in the English language, Hindu theology done by Hindus living in the modern West, is still in its infancy. Very few academic studies of Hinduism are done by Hindus themselves, proceeding from a place of faith, seeking to better understand their own tradition. And so I leave you with this thought, or rather this exhortation. Hindu youth go on to become doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists, and politicians. Isn't it time that more of us chose to formally study our own traditions, to become trained as scholars of Hinduism, as Hindu theologians, as professors and teachers and researchers with PhDs in our respective traditions. There are good careers out there for those who choose this line of work, and much personal satisfaction as well. Param Tattva Swami's book is a landmark achievement in Hindu theology, written by someone who represents the best of both scholarship and devotional practice. Param Tattva Swami was trained at the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies, which is one of the very few centers for Hindu theology in the West, an institution of higher education that has produced more Hindu theologians in the past decade than any other. Through his work, Param Tattva Swami has effectively launched the field of Swaminarayan theology in English and provided a model for the work of future scholar practitioners. I hope to see many more books and articles emerge from Param Tattva Swami's pen, and I hope many Swaminarayan youth will take up his lead and grow the field of Hindu theology. Thank you, and Jai Shri Krishna.